Hello, this is Seth Winning, and welcome to another AFI 100 Greatest American Film List Review. Today we're going to talk about Bonnie and Clyde. Bonnie and Clyde was a 1967 film and occupies the 27th position on the 1998 list and the 42nd position on the 2007 list. It is a watershed event in the fact that it was a division between old Hollywood and new Hollywood. It was really a brainchild of Warren Beatty, who starred in it, produced it, and even did a little uncredited script work on the script. He is joined by Faye Dunaway as Bonnie, Gene Hackman, and Denver Pyle. You may not know Denver Pyle, but Denver Pyle's most famous role was as Uncle Jesse in The Dukes of Hazzard, which ran approximately from 78 to 85 on CBS. And here we go. Warren Beatty wanted to shake up Hollywood, and he thought that Hollywood was too staid, that the movies coming out of Hollywood were too safe, and they didn't offer experiences like you would have in real life. And there was very little sex, and the violence was muted, and it didn't have very many emotions in the film. Like in a war pic, they would always be portrayed as courageous, fighting to take over Iwo Jima or something like that, and it would always be almost propaganda-like. You know, it wouldn't show the real struggles of war, only what the army wanted you to feel. It's a glorious thing to be in the army. Well, it is, but they didn't talk about the hard parts, about the people who just lose it in the foxholes and they just can't handle the shooting because, you know, that's just part of life. Human beings can only take so much stress, and that's what was missing in Hollywood. So Bonnie and Clyde was a story about two lovers who robbed banks and shot people, lived it up, partied hard. They lived a pretty miserable life for about 3 years and were shot to death in Texas after robbing banks in the Midwest. He wanted to use that kind of film because A, it was a true story, and B, because it was just something that could hold a lot of different emotions, because he knew that America had a relationship with the anti-hero that most other countries don't have. I mean, Robin Hood. Robin Hood comes to mind when you think of Bonnie and Clyde. Poor people raiding the rich to feed the poor, type of things, like a Jesse James type of vibe. Bonnie and Clyde were more like Billy the Kid than Jesse James. They just did stuff because they wanted to do stuff, and they had no moral obligation. They were just having fun. You know, this whole obsession with the anti-hero and shooters right up until today with like school shootings and dangerous things in our society comes from Billy the Kid, in my estimation, because in the cowboy era, about 1875 to right around 1890, there would be these books, dime books, penny books, where writers would just make up stories about the exploits of Wyatt or Wild Bill Hickok and the Buffalo Wars. Billy the Kid was the most popular one, I think, because he was a kid. He died when he was 21 in 1881, and he killed about 20 people. And it was just wide open. They just fabricated, straight up lied about stuff. And Billy the Kid probably didn't even know how famous he was in New York City because he's never been to New York, so he wouldn't know. But the most famous people to do this, the first really famous couple, Bonnie and Clyde. Bonnie and Clyde were basically losers during the Depression. Basically during the Depression, everyone was a loser because everyone, well, not everyone, but a third of the country was out of work. So people were looking for anything to cling on to just, because the banks wouldn't give you your money and you would just broke. People were stuffing money in the mattresses. The banks were big corporations, and there was no help. And to see these people strike back against the man, that was something to take notice of. That was something to take notice of. And Bonnie Parker was a waitress. Clyde Barrow was a two-bit thief. He was on parole and he liked to steal cars, especially the Ford V8. Ford was the first American auto manufacturer to come out with a V8, and it was faster than all the other cars in America, which is why Clyde Barrow favored them. If you're going to rob banks, you better be able to outrun the cops, because the cops in those days, no radio, no inter-county corroboration, no way to get a dragnet or a speed trap or a roadblock, because there wasn't any way to communicate, so you could just outrun the police if you knew the roads, if you got out ahead of them with your Ford V8, and that was Clyde Barker's modus operandi. So these people were just having fun. They were just, I don't want to work as a waitress. I don't want to, have some menial job sweeping floors. I want to live the life. I want to do something exciting, rob some banks, get some money, get drunk, hide out for a while, make love to my girlfriend, and just, living up like the cowboys of old. And the thing about Bonnie and Clyde was that they loved to take pictures of themselves with the guns. They would pose with shotguns and sometimes a machine gun, a Thompson machine gun, and they would send it into the paper just so they could look at themselves in the paper. And this is where this industry of just hyping criminals was really born. They would rob banks, and sometimes they would be nice to the people they robbed. They would always say, "Good morning, this is a bank robbery," or a stick up, or whatever. And one time, Clyde had shot a bank manager in the face. So there was like kindness and humor and really violence all in one ball. And that's what made this a very compelling movie and compelling way of filming, compelling way of storytelling that just interjected the 70s and beyond with that kind of anti-hero. We're talking Death Wish, we're talking Vanishing Point, Dirty Mary, Crazy Larry. They were also basically bank robbers, supermarket robbers. And there was this whole influx of the 70s with their anti-heroes and bank robbers and people just doing wild things. Dirty Mary, Crazy Larry movie I think it was a takeoff on the Bonnie and Clyde movie. because honestly it was pretty close to that one. But modern as in 1974 instead of 1967 trying to be like 1935, 1934. That what Warren Beatty wanted was, the humor, the love, the violence, the whole thing that Hollywood was lacking. Like when people were shot in a war epic, it would be a little bullet hole and it would be like, instead of, what we're used to seeing today when you get shot and it's really overblown, it's like, and there's blood and guts, and it was a lot closer to that. And personally, I think that Tarantino owes his career, as do other filmmakers, to Warren Beatty, Faye Dunaway, Gene Hackman, Bonnie and Clyde, because Tarantino's first two movies, True Love and Natural Born Killers, he didn't make them, but he wrote them. They were each a takeoff on Bonnie and Clyde. Natural Born Killers was more of a direct homage of Bonnie and Clyde, and True Romance was like a couple of losers striking out against the man or the mafia in this case. We're still putting out these movies. I just did a review of remake of Death Wish with Bruce Willis. Bruce Willis has a lot of anti-hero things, even when he's John McClane, a New York City cop. Die Hard, he's still the anti-hero. He's still gonna get his stuff done with the yippee-ki-yay, what. It's all about that cowboy American and getting things done unconventionally, just with a lot of glorious, gratuitous violence and sex. And basically, Bonnie and Clyde made movies what they are today. And unfortunately, because of the real Bonnie and Clyde, we have to deal with these school shooters and these linen roofs and whatever the other kids' names are. The Vegas shooters just totally owning the media for days, and well, we just let it go too far. It's one thing to, when everybody's not copying you, but when everybody starts to think that this is a good idea and, I should go out and shoot someone to just gain notoriety for myself, then, we have to do something about it. But, this is a byproduct of the American cowboy society that we created for ourselves. This is a really good movie. If you're a filmmaker, you probably like Tarantino, and you probably like people who make movies like him, so you should study it. It's really interesting about how they were pretty faithful to the actual events of Bonnie and Clyde, but you can't really be too faithful because all they had was a bunch of photographs and second-hand information, third-hand information, but we do know that during a getaway, Clyde Barrow smashed one of his stolen Ford V8 so badly that Bonnie got like third-degree burns on her leg, and she was just in pretty much agony from then on. So we're talking about it like it's a romantic getaway, like Thelma and Louise almost, where they just go off into the Grand Canyon think it was the Grand Canyon, and they just, they were film cuts as the car flies off the edge, and there's no pain to that. We don't see them just dying, but these people lived a horrible, horrible existence. It may have been fun and funny and just adrenaline junkie type of stuff there. It was reality too, and it was just a hard, hard life. It was like being a cowboy. You never knew where you were gonna end up. You never knew what you were gonna eat, where you were gonna sleep, all that stuff. You were just in it for the 2 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever, half an hour that you were in the bank, grabbing the cash, splitting the bank, driving off into the sunset, and that was your world. It's good to remember that. This movie's a fun movie, and the ending is probably what brings it back to reality, because it was just brutal. It was brutal, and you're sitting there going, I know these people, I don't want to look at it. And I remember when I saw it the first time, I was actually horrified, because it was all fun and game until you hit that wall when they get shot, man, like 200 times, or they just Swiss cheese the car, and like Bonnie got shot like 42 times or 60. It was just madness, and that's where they were headed all along. Well, we have to enjoy the movie, but yet it brings us back to reality that this lifestyle can't end well. They're going in one direction and one direction only, and that's hitting a brick wall at 78 miles per hour. They're not going to survive. They're not going to go to jail. They're just going to implode. The whole lifestyle just going to come to a screeching halt somehow. I'm telling you the ending because you can look it up for yourself. That's the only way it's going to happen. That's what happened to Dillinger. He was murdered by the FBI. They didn't even have him caught in the act of robbing. They say just shot him. That's pretty much, that is murder, and this was also murder, but the cops were getting so antsy that the Texas Rangers just had to take him out. Well, they felt that they had to take him out. We didn't have the laws that we didn't know. I don't know, but it still seems to happen. But if you like this video, thumbs up, subscribe, ring my bell. Check out my links in the dialogue box below to see what I'm shooting on, and I hope you have a good night. I hope you watch some good movies.